Welcome to the initial first official Tyler Vann show of season two. Coach, I can't believe we made it through season one without any major episodes, largely thanks to you, not me. But here we are, second season with the show, and we are on the verge of kicking off the season.
Yeah, we're excited. I know the kids are ready to play somebody else. I know we played a jamboree, but it feels like it's been forever since we played a jamboree. Having a week off after fall camp and playing a jamboree, having that week off, it's feel practice for 2 more weeks before a game. It's been good to us. I feel like we used last week, did a lot of individual work, trying to get better at the things we messed up on. During the jamboree, and there was a lot to fix. I thought our guys played really hard during the jamboree. I thought we competed, which is it's a big deal. I thought we had some alignment issues with stuff we try to take pride in alignment, and technique, first step, stuff like that. I feel like we took another step forward in that, and looking forward to see how we've improved going into this week against a very athletic Sachs football team. And Coach Freeney in his first year, he's been really good everywhere he's been. We're excited about the opportunity. We're going down there to compete, try to get better against a good football team, and get ready. So.
Coach, even going back to last year, and we've talked every week on this show, you don't no weeks off for the Sylvania schedule. Sachs is, from what I've been able to see on the huddle film and the stuff you and the coaches, a very well coached team. I know they have a new coach, but last year very disciplined and physical football team, and I expect more of that kind of physicality this year.
Yeah, they do a really good job. Coach Freeney, he has a young team in some spots, and he has a young quarterback, freshman, who's going to be really good. It's early on in his career, and he's done good so far. And somebody we've really got a key on. He throws the ball really well. We just got to do a good job of getting back there. Even when we're bringing it forward, we got to do a good job of getting back there and pressing the pocket, and forcing him to try to force some throws in there. Because if he sits back there, he's going to find somebody he has the arm to push it down the field. It's not someone you can't worry. Some quarterbacks, in high school, you can say he maxes out at 45 or 50, so 40. So you don't have to cover that far. So that kind of, but he's able to push it down the field. So we don't have to do a good job on the back end. Our front, so we have to do a good job against. They're young up front. I think they're pretty good. So we don't have to come ready to play everywhere and just get better at us. That's something that don't matter who we play. This year, we're going to play good football teams all year, really good football teams. But it's about us. We can compete. We can get lined up. We can do little things right. We're going to be in most every game. I believe that as long as we're able to line up and do the little things right, the big things happen. So we just got to make sure we're taking care of the small things we can control, and play our tails off. So I'm excited to watch. I tell them all the time, even today after practice, I'm excited to watch us play. I'm ready to see us play against someone else. I'm tired of seeing us beat up on each other. I've done a better job, I think, as a head football coach this year on contact stuff, trying to stay away from, trying to measure it out a little bit better, maybe. We're a little bit healthier going into week one than we were last year, and I was way more physical even after fall camp. During fall camp, we were physical. I tried to back off just a little bit, pick and choose the times that were physical, and try to plan out a little better, and leaned on some older coaches and friends of mine now that have helped me out with that. And I feel like we're doing a better job of it, and I'm ready to see it translate to a Friday night. I'm ready to see us tackle well and do a good job. So I'm excited to see how our plans that we've changed here or there, tweaked, see it, if there are improvements on Friday night. So there's a lot I'm looking at and trying to get better at. And if it's not where I want it, then I'm going to try to tweak it a little bit more, because we're trying to be the best we can be, and we're not there yet. We're not ever going. I told them the other day, if we're able and we're blessed to make a deep run, even at the end of it, you never reach your ceiling. You're never as good as you can be. So we've got to get better every week, regardless of how good you think you are. You got to get better. And the last 2 days, yesterday wasn't great. Today wasn't great either. And, I was able to point that out to them. But I'll say that we messed up 2 or 3 things. I get mad. It can be one thing early in practice, and it's ruined my whole day. But for the most part, execution-wise, wasn't bad. We just got to catch the ball, throw the ball. We just got to get better everywhere. So I can get on a rant about all that right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let it go. Let it go. Get better tomorrow.
Can I follow up on that real quick, Coach?
Go ahead. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, with you being able to back off on some of that stuff, do you contribute that to the experience that you've got coming back from the last year?
Mhm. Yeah, we have a lot of seniors, 11 seniors, and most of them guys, almost all of them, besides one, was a part of the team last year. And so, I'm not worried about our physicality. We're still working tackle stuff every day. It ain't like we don't tackle or anything like that. We're still working it. We're just not live to the ground and live as much as I've ever. I mean, we're thudding up. We're running through guys. We're more on bags during inside and team stuff. And so that's just me. Young coach, like I told you the other day, I feel sorry for some of my other teams there in my first 2 years. Like the way a young coach and think that hey, I got it all figured out. I don't. And I lean on a lot of older coaches, a lot of friends, and ask them questions all the time. They probably get tired of me asking them questions, but I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to be the best I can be and put our football team in the best position to be successful. And nobody's come up with anything new that I know of. Everything's handed down from somebody. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and try to fit it to the team that we have this year. It may be different next year, but try to fit it to what we have. So, yeah, to answer the question, yeah, it's the seniors and trying to, you know, I'm not worried as much about physicality as I've been in the past. So, but now, if we have a bad Friday night, now I ain't saying Monday may not be bad, but hopefully we don't have to deal with that.
Howie, I want to follow up to what you actually asked. It kind of falls in line. Coach, we're kind of leaving 22 behind and moving into 23. And even, I think you've even kind of coached me to move on. It's time to move on out at the media days. You're like, you got to leave your expectations behind. Where do you leave the expectations that the fans place on you, but you want to get the confidence the kids built in that run last year? There's a fine line that's kind of a coaching. I think you and the staff have to balance that. Bring the success and the attitude, but not the success from last year. If you know what I mean.
Right, and I think the biggest thing is when I got here, I wanted them the culture to be that we expect to win every Friday night. So I want them to be confident. I want them to expect to win, no matter what's going on in the game. At the end of the fourth quarter, we expect when that horn goes off, Sylvania's score to be 1 point, at least 1 point higher than other teams. Be confident in what you do. Be confident in how you practice. Be confident in how you live. Be confident in how you live. Like just have that demeanor about yourself. Like that's a culture we want. I'm not saying I don't want to be cocky or anything like that, but it's okay to be confident in what you do and have pride about it. But as far as moving on into this year, it's like I told them during fall camp, 22. Don't I mean that's point. I mean, no reason to look back. It's a successful year. We didn't make it as far as we wanted to make. We wanted to be one game further. We wanted to find a way to win the semifinal game. We wanted to find a way to win the last one. We didn't get it done. Kids still had a lot to be proud about. We was able to be the second team to make it, but that team's gone. Um, and we have a lot of the same players this year, but we're still a different football team. If that makes any sense, we're a new team. We don't have new problems, new issues that last year's team didn't face, and it's our job to face them and move on and face the adversity that this team's going to face. It's going to be different than what last year's team faced. So I think our guys have done a really good job of that, and they understand that just because you made the semis last year doesn't guarantee you the right to even make the playoffs this year. It doesn't guarantee you. Nobody's going to lay down because you made the semis. If anything, they're going to play a little bit harder. So let's put that year behind us. Let's go game by game this year. Right now, our focus is on sacks. Our focus is on us. Every week, our focus is on us because I feel like if we do our job and we take care of us, we're going to have an opportunity to be in a football game. Doesn't mean we're going to win all of them, but I'm just telling you, I feel like we have an opportunity to be in all the games that we take care of ourselves. So we need to be lined up like I talked to you about. Do the little things right. Let the big stuff take care of itself. Let's make the plays. But if you're not lined up, you can't do all those little things correct, then the big thing, the big picture don't really matter. Not to me anyway. So we've got to do a good job of that this Friday night if we want an opportunity to be in the football game. And that's our goal. Every week we want to dominate the football game. And to do that, we've got to do all those things correctly. So,
Howie?
Yeah, you kind of touched on last season and all that, and I look at it like this. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and I don't know how you feel about this, is that was in the past. You see these records of all-time record 42, 42 and 34, whatever. That's in the past. You don't have the same team that you did last year. Why? People's got to realize that you only lost 4 players, but like you said, it's a totally different team than what you had last year, and the people's got to realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it's four. We lost 4 guys, and all 4 guys were on the field at different times. 22 carried the ball a lot. I mean, all those guys we lost contributed in some way, form, or fashion to our football team, and all of them were leaders. All right, we lost 4 guys, 4 guys that we're going to miss, and we have 11 more seniors this year, and those seniors got to find a way to lead. Those captains that are voted captains got to find a way to lead this football team this year. Can't be led the same way every year. We don't have to have people step up and lead this football program. I think we've got guys starting to step up, but it's a brand new year. It's like, Alabama, nobody cares they won a national championship. After you win a national championship one year and they go 10-2 the next year and fans are mad, they don't care that they won the national championship 2 years ago. It's a new year. Nobody cares anymore. And that's how fans are, and that's how we've got to be right now. We got to put that behind us. And yes, it's a memory and it's something that them guys can look back at for nobody's going to take it from them. But we still didn't make it as far as we want. Like I said, I have a lot to be proud about for last year and all. But that's not the end goal, and we've got to do our job this season, this year, week by week, day by day, to make this year successful. So,
did you kind of have a seniors only meeting before the season started, and kind of what did you tell them actually, if you did? Do you mind sharing that?
Every year for 3 years, we've had a senior. I meet with the seniors, and it's normally right there before we do team count because I kind of talk to them about what they want to do on that day, where they want to go on that Saturday and whatnot. But I also talk to them a lot about take in every second that you can take in for the year. I just want them to know from experience. And I told them it was like yesterday. I sit in there with Brody Smith and Brett Sims and Xander and that whole group. Felt like yesterday, my first year, and I sit there and I told them the exact same thing. And them guys have been graduated, Styles and all of them has been graduated 2 years now. And I felt like I just walked down the hall and got them speaking to them yesterday. And I let them know, like, enjoy every second. Every Friday night that you have the opportunity to play everything you got, enjoy it. Because it's going to go, and you're going to look back and you're going to wish you could strap up one more time. So that's the biggest thing I tell them. And then we talk about, the importance of the goals that we set, that they lead this program the right way and give everything they got every day. Because at the end of it, you don't want to look back. It's like I told the whole team that this morning in different meeting rooms that we had. And yesterday was not a great day of practice. Like, yeah, we executed some things really good, but we executed a lot. But poorly. On defense, we got lined up probably the best we've been lined up in a while. And on offense, the second part of practice on offense, we was messing up formations we've got right all summer. So it's a locked-in issue. And if you have an opportunity to be a really good football team, why would you have a lock-in issue, a mental issue on Tuesday of game week? So, I was on them all yesterday after practice about that. And then this morning, I told them, why? If you have an opportunity you're talented enough. But now let's translate that to the field. Let's get lined up right every play. Don't give yourself an option not to. Let's take a good first step. Let everything else play hard as you can. Have fun. That's what football is about. Have fun. But let's do the little things we can control. Get lined up. Take a good first step, and let's play. Let's play football. Have fun. Because we dropped footballs. We made bad throws yesterday. But I wasn't mad about that. If we're running the right route, we drop a football. It's part of it. It's going to happen. At least we're doing things the right way. But alignment issues, I can't stand that. Like, let's get the signal. Let's do that the right way. But just meet with them, stuff about that. I'm really excited about the senior groups. Like I told you a few weeks ago, I told my wife I've loved every group I've had, even back to Woodville. But I love this senior group. I want it to slow down. I felt like I told her that in June, just the other day, and we're kicking off week 1. Right now, we're about to play our first game, and it's just speeding up faster and faster and faster. I enjoy being around this group and this whole football team. They practice really hard. Year 1, I can't tell you how many times we ran and we rolled and we ran and we rolled because I could turn on film and we were taking plays off in practice. Like, these guys have got it. They understand how we want to practice. They understand how we want to live. They understand they understand what we're is expected of them, which they should in year 3. So I just really enjoy this group. I want them to have a good year. I'm their coach. I root for them. I'm hard on them sometimes. They probably think sometimes I don't love them, but at the end of it, I do, and I want what's best for them. So I'm just excited, and hopefully this Friday night we play hard. We're going to mess up, and we find out what we need to fix going into next week, because this is a big game this week, and we have another one next. So we got to focus on sacks.
Randy, one more question, then you can have it back. Going into this week, Coach, what has changed going into game week compared to previous weeks, if anything?
Practice-wise?
Yes.
We're a little different on Mondays. We're not as long at practice. We're only on the game field. We took a lot of time off on the game field, spent more time in meeting rooms. And that day on the game field is game plan stuff and running. And then Tuesday, Wednesday is more of our work days. Wednesday is still all team situational day. And Tuesday is more of that's our work day. Well, all 3 of them's work day, but Tuesdays are grunt work. We're going to be physical with each other. We're going to be full pads on Tuesdays and sometimes shells. But I think the biggest deal is Mondays have changed. I'm trying to be a little bit, it used to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were all pretty rough my first year. Last year, Wednesdays were a little bit better. This year, I think I've wised up a little bit and talked to enough people that's convinced me that the Mondays and Wednesdays can be a little bit lighter. We still get all the stuff done. We're physical. It's not like we're not practicing. We're getting a lot done. We're getting a lot accomplished. We're just not taking care of each other, keeping guys up off the ground, keep them getting rolled up at practice, be physical in fall camp, and then during game week, let's focus on execution, not as much about seeing a guy double team and drive somebody to the ground and roll the next guy up. So I'm trying to learn a lot and get better. And like I said, I feel sorry sometimes for my previous. I try to get better every year, so hopefully I make the next group just a little bit better than I made the last group. But that's some of the changes we've made.
Coach, one thing about it, you mentioned Styles. He's on the cover of the Faulkner promotion this week. You've been there a minute. When I look at that region now, you're by far not in the bottom of that seniority. You're starting to move up a little bit. Do you think year 3 you feel a little more like you're in place and a little bit more senior representative of this region?
Football team wise, I feel like we have an opportunity to put ourselves in position to be one of the top 3 or 4 every year. We've got to do a really good job this year of execution, like everybody will tell you. I think we have the talent. I think we have the players, but if you can't get lined up and execute, it really doesn't matter how good you are. So, but to answer your question, maybe that's a tough question to answer. Because we have to go out there and we have to play hard. But there's some really good coaches in this region that do a really good job week in, week out. And it's tough. It's a tough region to coach against. It makes you better. Because if you're not doing a good job, you'll get it'll show up on Friday nights on film. But I feel like we've got a really good staff.
So, and when 2 of the junior members, newest members of the region is Dale Pruitt and Coach Smith, you kind of got to say there's a little seniority in those new coaches. 3rd trip at Plainview, and of course, Coach Smith been in the region forever. Coach, I was asked a question about you personally, and I'm going to ask this the best way I know how. I was asked what I enjoy most about doing this show with you every week, and I said the following thing: because Coach Vann might be the most competitive person I know, and each week he gets me excited for the game just talking to him. How does your competitive edge from being an athlete translate to your coaching?
It's like today at practice, like 51. I'm gonna call him out right here. 51. He's one of the captains. 51. Yeah, 51. Really good football players. Nobody in our region. Nobody argue with you. He messed up. Listen, he messed up 2 things yesterday on O line. 2. And all the reps we did messed up 2, and I lost it yesterday. All right. And on film today, I got on to him. And today, he messed up 1 thing, and I lost it. And I asked him if he thought he arrived or whatever, and I'm just hard on him. but I just expect him never to mess up. So that's just the expectation I have of him, because that's the expectation he has on himself. That's any little thing that messes up, I get mad. I probably need to do a better job. Kind of letting, I don't know, maybe let some stuff go. I don't know. I can't do it though. Like on Friday nights, I want to dominate every play. I mean, we get tackled for no gain. I want to know what's crap happening. Every play needs to be dominated. Like, I want every play on defense, offense, special teams. I want to dominate all three phases of the game, and I think our players do. So it translates a little bit just because I hate giving up anything. It eats at me. I just want to dominate games and win, not just win games. We want to dominate games, and that's our goal. And if you go out there expecting and trying to dominate each game, yes, you may only win by 14, but your goal is to go out there and dominate your opponent. Play as hard as you can through the whistle every play. So that's our goal. But yes, to answer your question, I think it translates. I think the kids are just like me. I think a lot of them reminds me of myself. Competitiveness and how they play the game. I really enjoy this group of seniors. So.
Old friend Rocky Shaw just said it's cage match time, Coach. That game won, so it's time to put it on. You said the word that I was trying to get to there. The personality of this team last year and this year, we'll find out. But it seems like the team and your staff, it's just not you, really competitive, want to win at everything they go to do. And I think the kids take that attitude into the games, and that's how you win football games a lot of times.
Right, they want to win every play, every rep. Don't matter, and they've done a better job over the last 2 years of just letting it go when you don't win the rep. It's okay. You're not going to win every play. Your goal is to dominate every play. It's just not it's not going to happen. Especially against good football teams. You're not even every game you step in, you're going to lose a play. You're going to lose multiple plays. It's about letting that go and moving on and trying to dominate the next one. And our guys have done a really good job, I thought, over the last few years of putting plays behind them and trying to dominate the next one, putting drives behind them and trying to win the next one, and just taking it play by play. So.
Coach, last question. I'll come back to you, Howie. Coach, with this group, you had some position battles going into the fall camp. Matter of fact, you kept saying it when we'd meet over the summer, every position's open. Have you, going into game week, those position battles kind of over, or you still got some things going on that you're not sure who may be there, or maybe even split times with some reps out on the field this Friday night?
Yeah, I think, defensive tackle wise is a rotation right now. We've got guys that we can rely on interior, and I think that's week by week who wants to start. Who's going to practice the best? Who's going to get lined up, do their job during full line reads and stuff done there with coach. Who's going to do the best that week? That's who's going to start. It's not going to be a straight, line up for every single game. I think it's weekly. It makes us better. They compete. Outside linebacker, 28's trying to buy for some time, and when we go 3-4 stuff, he's automatically in anyways. But he's going to be able to rotate in at some outside linebackers. So we've got positions that like that. That's going to be a steady rotation, and the quarterback position's been up for a while and up in the air, and both guys are going to play again this Friday night. Three's going to start the game. Nine's still going to get into play some. I'm not done with that battle yet, and I think both, like I told the staff, both give our team something positive, and that's what I love about both of those kids. They both bring something different to the table for an offense that's a little different. Both of them's good at what they do. All right, and just sitting in here in a meeting room and on Friday night, even during the jamboree, they're each other's biggest fan. On practice field, they don't. It's not like one of those battles where they rooting against each other. They're for each other, and that makes it easy in this room. During meetings, it makes it easy on the practice field, makes it easy in games, because I could see them both getting a lot of playing time this year, and they're for each other, so that makes it a lot easier. Our teams for both of them. It doesn't matter who starts, who's in. They trust both of them. It makes it really good. So I'm excited about them, and it's I'm excited to watch both of them again this week. So.
Before I come to you, let me ask a follow up here. In the North Jackson film and some of the practice films, I think one of the things that caught me a little bit surprised, Coach, in this competition battle is 15 has really carved his notch out in this football team right now. And looks like you have some confidence in going to him in almost any situation.
Yeah, he's done a really good job running the football for us, him and two. I'm excited about the running backs. They're steady. There'll be a rotation too. It helps two's not on defense as much this year. He's going to be able to tote it for a lot more this year than he has been able to play in both ways. And he was able to split time with Braden last year. But this year he has 15 who I have a lot of trust in. He's done a good job taking care of the football practice. Our AFs both do a really good job of taking care of the football practice. Hopefully that translates to the game. But so I have a lot of trust in 15. And 10 and 28 at running backs too, they both do a really good job. We have 4 running backs that I could see that I could put in situations and trust them to do their job. So 10's really fast. He's a senior. Yeah, he does a really good job. So I'm excited about our running back group and with 2 heading it up as well.
Howie?
I kind of laughed earlier when you said you want to win every play and how competitive you are. I want to go back to that for a second. The most irritated I think I've ever saw you was last year. I've been on the sideline for 2 years, and we talked about it last year. The most irritated was Geraldine when you got the 15-yard penalty, but we won't talk about that one because
I'm not allowed to bring that up anymore about Phil Harris. So I'm going to put that. We're both
rest.
15-yard penalty.
It won't happen again. I told the staff the other day I'm going to do a better job with referees this year. And I told the staff, don't say a word to them. Just let me talk to them. And I said, I'm going to do a better job. And I caught myself the other day. First game, Jamboree screaming, I got to do a better job. I got to stop because they do a good job and they don't have to be out there. We need them to play games. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, but to my point was the most irritated I saw you was toward the end of the game, and I can't remember who it was against, but you were trying to call plays and the defense was lining up totally different from what you expected, and you was like, why are they lining up like that? I can't get the right play that I want to call. And you looked at me and Coach Lee like, what are they doing, guys? Why aren't they not lining up the way they're supposed to? And you was on offense, they was on defense, and you was complaining about the defense, the way they was lining up.
Yeah, because I don't remember what game that was. But I try to watch a lot of film and kind of know how they, adjust to stuff. So when I call plays, I have the idea of, in my head, this is how they adjust. I'm gonna call this play to beat that adjustment, beat that front or whatever. I think I know which game it was. I'm not gonna say it just because, but they were over adjusted to the weak side, and I was running a weak side run. So it's like I expect them to give us the look to the strength that I expect, and they overnumber. I get they just knew I was running. They did a good job. They knew what I was heavy yellow, probably counter, and they lined up to stop it. But if I'd have had a strong side run, it'd probably backpedaled in. So I was just like, you serious? Are you kidding me? I think I'm in a really good play. But it also happens. It happens in the middle of the game too. And when you're calling football plays, I'll look at Wilson in the headset and I'll go, Tutty. Touchdown. This is it, and we'll mess something up. Just as plain as day. It's gonna be an easy play, big play for us, and something simple will mess up, And then there'll be plays I say, oh man, we're in a bad play. I'll say it about like that, and anyways, and it'll bust for 30. And I'm like, that shouldn't have happened. That is not how it's supposed to work. But that's football, and adjustments and coordinators making calls. And sometimes you're not in a good one.
Right. Let's talk about sacks. Did they play a jamboree this week? Was you able to watch them? Do you know anything really about what they may be doing this come Friday night?
Yeah, they played jamboree against Sacks last week, and they played 2 weeks ago. Last week they played Ohatchee, and I was able to go watch that game actually on Thursday night. So I've been able to see him in person, watch him on film. Very athletic group. Like I said, quarterbacks does a really good job. He's just a freshman, big kid, and then number 6, one of their slot/H's, and sometimes in the backfield at F. He's fast. He's a shorter guy, but man, he's quick. He's tough to get your hands on him. It makes me really nervous about getting in space because if he gets in space, I don't know if we can catch him. He's really fast. And so we've got to do a good job with fits, and that's what I'm telling you about alignments and taking good first steps. Their fits got to be really good against a team like this because they're very athletic. If they get a step on us, it's going to be hard for us to catch them. So we've got to do a really good job on Friday night with their offense and vice versa on our offense. We've got to do it. It's no secret that we're going to line up and run the football. We've got to do a really good job up front. Let's dominate the game. Let's win the game up front on both sides of the football. If we can dominate the front, then we got a really good chance of winning the football game. So a lot of pressure up front on both sides of the football. That's the oldest part of our team is our O-line, D-line. So that's where all the pressure goes to. And, that's a big part of whether we win or lose.
Being able to travel to North Jackson for that Jamboree game, do you think that's beneficial being your first road game this week as well?
I think so, and like I said, being an older group, they've traveled a lot over the last few years with us, especially with a new coach. It's always different on how you travel and what you do when you get there and stuff like that. Our guys know what we're doing when we get there. Freshmen, being able for the freshmen to see how we do it when we get there is also a big deal. They went through it with our scrimmage. We did our rotations in the field house. They went through it with the Jamboree on the road. So they kind of got a feel of how we do our rotations before we go out because we do some stretches. We do a lot of stuff in this field house with rotation with tape, film, tape, stretch, dress, and then go out there and do some more stretches. So kind of getting used to the rotations and knowing where to go and knowing to be quiet and get your mind right. Normally I don't have to say anything about being quiet. Our seniors do a really good job of making sure young guys understand, to be focused. So I do think that's helped in being on the road again this week and having that one road game under us.
One more question, Randy, and you have it back. Do you think Sachs will keep it as hot as Coach Smith did at Piedmont in the locker room?
No, I don't think they'll turn the heat on us.
Just
Coach Smith, I told him, Coach Smith, we're going over there this year, and it's week 9. It's week 9, so he'll have to turn the heat on for it to be hot because it should be cooled off then. I told him I just keep the door open. By the way, better lock it and keep it heat on the whole time because I'm gonna leave that door open. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be different being over playing against Coach Smith and it being a little cool in the locker room.
Yeah, just a little jab there at Coach Smith. That's something we've kind of joked about behind the scenes here, and but I know you're looking forward to every game. But first things first is Sachs, of course, and I know you are looking forward to that trip. What time will y'all leave Friday, and will y'all stop and eat or anything like that?
We're actually going to just go ahead and eat here. We're going road trip, man. We'll leave at 4 o'clock. So I get there about 5:20, 5:30, and everything kicks up from there.
All righty.
Hey, Coach, you've talked about over the summer that kind of a little more responsibility on Coach Wilson, and also Coach Clark's kind of pulling double duties with his new position that's up and coming. What have you done to adjust your staff, and or is there anything major that's going to be different from 22 as far as staff-wise?
I think, we hired Coach Jackson. We've talked about him, correct?
Yes.
On the show. Since our last one, I think we was able to get Coach Arnold in. He's been at 5 for a while. He's been around a long time. And the head coach, Geraldine, really good guy, really good coach. And
back at Sylvania, he was there for a while.
Yeah, he's back at Sylvania. And so just having him on staff's big. That's a big deal for us, and that's helped a ton. And it helps me as well, just having an older guy to talk to. He probably don't like me calling him older, but he'll get over it. But comparative to me, having an older guy on staff to be able to talk to, because I was able to talk to Coach Mono and stuff, but I have a guy here that's every day at practice, and he does a really good job with D-line. So getting him, he calls our offense communism, because we like to throw it a little bit. So If he's gonna call it that, I told him before he leaves he'll be a communist. So he'll like throwing the football before he leaves. So him being around us, maybe he's learning a little passing concepts from us at the same time. So I'm excited to have him around. He's been a huge help.
Coach, what is the next 24 hours like for the team and you? Just trying to get into Friday night, get a lot of time off your feet, I would assume, and trying to just really get prepared for game day. What tell us people who haven't played football since you used to take salt pills and make yourself tough, what it's like in the 2023s and what you want to accomplish in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Well, last year, like I told you, Thursday mornings, we're doing Thursday mornings. That's been a big adjustment for us. It's been really good to us. Get our guys off their feet for over 24 hours again, so in the morning we'll come in and we'll try to have a error-free walkthrough and try to be locked in. Hopefully they'll be locked in. 51 won't mess up a backpack car or anything like that. So maybe we'll be locked in and, walkthrough will go smooth and everything. And then after walkthrough, I don't see them again until Friday morning. So they get to go home after school tomorrow. So we'll get here about 7:15. We'll do a little rotation in the weight room for our fourth day lift, and then we'll go outside. We'll do a walkthrough, and I don't see them. Like I said, I don't see them get up Friday morning. So they're off their feet. They don't do much again until Friday night pregame. So try to get off their feet, eat right, drink right, stay away from those carbonated drinks, sweet tea, and stuff. Kyle likes sweet tea, stuff like that for all of our guys. Stay off, try to stay away from it and get prepared and ready for Friday night. So.
Coach, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Five being able to play defense and losing him last year early on. With 51-5, when 51 gets his calls right, which I'm going to bet on him tomorrow. I'm going to bet money he doesn't mess up anything. Keeping 5 healthy this year, what will that bring to the defense with him and 51 on the field at the same time?
Speed on the back end for us with 5. Speed, athleticism, ball skills, and able to tackle well. That's one of the issues we had, if you remember, on the secondary last year was our issues tackling. And I think all 4 guys that we have out there, 5 guys, because Nine's going to play a lot in the secondary because he helps us, whether he's playing quarterback or not. He's going to be in the secondary a good bit because he's one of the most athletic kids we've got. So we've got to do a really good job on the back end of tackling. And 5 brings everything you need from a strong safety standpoint. Now, he needs to get lined up a little bit better. When 25 is back there, it helps him out a lot. He didn't make that many tackles in the jamboree, but that's a good thing. And, our front's handling it, our linebackers handling it. We don't want him to make that many tackles. It's not been a great night if he's making a lot of tackles anyways. But, he led the team last year. If that tells you the difference in our front, he made a lot of tackles last year in 2 games. Like I said, he led the team in tackles for a long time there, probably to week 4 or 5. That shouldn't be the case, and hopefully it's not this year. But he brings a lot, and it kind of gives you that feeling a little bit of safety on the back end. If somebody breaks it out, you can run them down and get them down and make them snap it again as well. So he's just a playmaker, and we have a bunch of those out there, a bunch of athletes out there. I think it's one of the fastest groups, team speed wise, we've had on defense since I've been here. They run the football fast with the football. That makes a big difference. Having some speed and athletic ability on that, all the way from lineman to the back end of secondary. That's a big deal. So we're excited about that. 5 and 51 is just the numbers that a lot of people see, but they're not. There's a lot of them out there that's fast, and we got a lot better, and we look better, we're stronger. So I'm excited about what our defense will be able to accomplish this year if we can get lined up. Now, if we can get lined up. So.
Do you think he brings a little attitude to the backside of that defense too? Because I thought at the beginning of last year after he got hurt, it was almost looking for that attitude, that enforcer back there, which he can be at times.
Yeah, he brings a lot to us now. He's
What's your word, Coach?
I don't know how I'm gonna put it right here on Facebook, but he's a guy you want on your team.
Yeah.
You don't want to coach against him at all because it's a guy you won't like much, but he's a guy you want on your team. And he sets a tone for our defense. And I thought 51 started doing that more, especially when 5 went down. 51 took over that role. So having both of them out there this year is a big deal for us. And I think we have a bunch of them. I'm telling you, and hopefully they show it over the and prove me right. I think we have a few more guys without calling their numbers and putting any pressure on them. I think we have a few more guys that's going to be that same way this year, and I'm excited to see it. And hopefully we see it early in the year, preferably this Friday night.
And there's a couple that on your defensive side, if you're in a foxhole, that's kind of person you want in the foxhole with you. And that's
I could pick over a handful I'd take with me.
Yeah. Coach, let's one more thing I want to ask you about is, and I know you're preparing for Sachs, but is it odd that you open up 2 weeks with brand new head coaches in brand new positions?
Yes, it's different. Defensive coordinator wise, I think Sachs is very similar to what they were. I actually think it's the same guy. I may be completely wrong on that. Defensively, I think they're very similar to what they were in the past. Kind of adjusted to a new offense a little bit. Which makes it tough. I remember I was there, first year head coach. Me and Coach Frank talked earlier this week. Getting your system in and teaching the guys how you want to practice and what you expect, your expectations from the smallest part of a program to the big, to all the way to game day, like your expectations of your players on how they handle themselves, even outside the building. You can't get all that in 1 year. So it's and it's maybe got there in June. So that's an ongoing process for them. And offensively, they're just going to get better and better. I wish we'd have played them like earlier. Like they've had 2 games under their belt. They're just going to get better and better and better under the new head coach. And then flip over Coach Miller and them. They're going to do a really good job. They have a lot of the same guys on staff. Not too much turnover there. They do have a new coordinator, but I believe he was a younger guy that was on staff with Coach Smith and Coach Blanchard previously. So they do a lot of the same things on defense. Didn't have to change much from what I've seen so far. And Coach Miller, I was able to coach against him at Sachs for the last 2 years. So kind of familiar with his offense. Don't know. I haven't seen enough to tell you if it's going to be similar to what he did at Sachs. But Franny's new to me. Miller coached against him twice. Kind of have an idea of what he's going to do on offense if he don't change too much. But still, you got to line up and stop it. It don't matter what you know. It matters what you teach the kids and teach them what they can do. So.
And Coach, just not to look ahead in the schedule, but if you look at the backside of that schedule, there's 1,000 wins sitting in about 3 football coaches on the backside of that schedule. So you go brand new to 3 of the most tenured coaches in the state of Alabama on the backside. I know your competitiveness. When you play Coach Benefield or Coach Smith, or I'm sure you as a coach see that as a personal challenge a little bit to just maybe, call the game a little different or have a little something on the play sheet for them.
0-6 is my record against them. 0-6. So I've got to do a better job. Bottom line, I've got to do a better job preparing our kids. I'm competitive and everything like that. And I ain't, it ain't about me at all. But they've done it. What I'm saying is they've obviously done a better job of preparing their kids than I have. So I've got to do a better job. And that's something I put a lot of pressure on myself about. I try to put our kids in the best possible situation to give them an opportunity to win a game. It ain't about my name. It ain't about the win percentage or wins beside it. It's about how I can get our players and give them the best opportunity to win the football game. So I've got to do a better job. They've been around football a long time. They're really good. They don't take a genius and to look at their record, tell that they prepare their teams the right way. So, and I think our staff does a good job. We just got to, like I said, find a way to get better every year, and I think we're doing that as a staff, and hopefully our players are doing that as well. So, but they're really good things. They're really good football coaches, and it excites me to coach against them and to stand across from them. So.
Coach, it's eerily similar that I got a similar answer from one of those coaches with 300 and something wins. It's not about them. It's preparing its football team. And the last question I've got for you tonight, and the ultimate compliment to you, Coach, when I think about football coaches, I think of you. And I know you're a young coach, but to me, you are a coach. And I call you coach, even though I'm 30 years older, out of respect for what you do. What does it mean to be a football coach and lead those young men to you personally?
Yeah, I wanted to be that from the time it didn't take long to figure out that's what I wanted to do in my life. And, I was down to two different things, and when I was in high school, but basketball was my favorite for the longest, and football turned out to be my favorite. And after that, that's all I wanted to be a part of was football, and it was about leading a bunch of. I didn't know that I wanted to be a football coach at first. I just wanted to coach football. I wanted to be a part of the game. And then after I was a coach for a few years, helped at different places. I was able to find out the impact that you can have on young men and young kids. So I wanted to have a positive impact, and I try to do that every day. And I fall short. It's like I tell my pastor about every day. Like I got to do better. And that's something I want to do better about is leading these young men and being a positive impact to them, and then at the same time getting them ready for life because life's not easy. And I think football teaches a lot about life. I love the game of football, and I love going out there and coaching every day, even though some days, my happiness relies on a bunch of freshmen through seniors. How they practice, my happiness relies on that. Sometimes I do a better job of letting that go when I get to the house because I don't do a good job of that. And like yesterday, I didn't do a good job of it. My wife said, "What's wrong with you?" So she knows. I don't know why she asked. So I guess just to get it out of me. But I got to do a better job about that. But I enjoy even the times that I go on mad. The best part is seeing them be successful on a Friday night or in live, like seeing Styles and Brody and them. Brett Sam started college the other day. Even the guys I had two years ago, and just seeing them on Facebook, seeing what they're doing, and being successful. I love them. It's makes me happy and proud for them, and hopefully they know they can call me anytime about anything. So.
Coach, how I come, I just got a comment. Had a coach one time tell me, I feel the same love for football and being around and trying to do something to put a positive light on this. But I'll never forget a coach when I was early and I was broadcasting told me that nobody keeps my record, no matter if I do a good broadcast or a bad broadcast. Nobody knows about it next week. So it's a tough job, and I don't think coaches get the credit they deserve sometimes. Maybe too much credit when they win and too much credit when they lose. And really, I don't know us as fans respect the journey that the coaches go on with the team. So thank you. Thank you for the time every week. And one of my most favorite things is talking to you weekly. Howie, I'll let you close us out tonight.
Coach, it's that time of night where I'm going to ask you some crazy questions. So you already got the smile on your face.
Do it.
Now, you said you didn't really have no pregame superstition, but now since you've got that young quarterback in waiting that's 4 or 5 months old, is there going to be a superstition or something you're going to do before the game now or after the game?
I'm hoping to start one, next year when he's not going to be able to go to every game because I know my wife will be a full-time job for her. She really enjoys watching the game, so I know that she's not all about everybody holding him yet. I don't think so, but after the game, being able to see him will be something that's so special to me. I'm ready. I don't want him to grow up too fast, but being able to see him run around here and stuff like that, the field house and stuff would be awesome. So, but I don't know if I'm gonna start anything this year yet. Anything like that. One thing I did start, I don't want to miss my prayer with the pastor, my pastor and our team chaplain every day every game before we go out. That's something we started, and we actually started it. You won't believe it, and it kept going. We started it last year in the Plainview game, and we got beat, but we kept it going. We ended up winning some more games, so it wasn't a big deal. I never forgot that was the first time I think we did it, and we lost. But I didn't, you can't blame that on that superstition. It would be terrible. So that is one of the things though that I've started every time is being able to pray with him one-on-one.
Okay, I'll admit I thought about it. So just go ahead and let's skim over it.
Yeah.
So since the new one's been born and everything, how many times a night have you been getting up to help out?
I've been doing good. Husband of the year. I think my wife's very lucky. Like one of the there ain't that
But
many husbands. There ain't many husbands out there. Sometimes I feel like the mother. Like I get up every night. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. That's a lie. My wife does almost everything. I do. I've tried to help a lot. Last night I helped. He's been getting up a lot lately. I think he's been teething a little bit. So last night I slept with him on the recliner. About 3 on. 2 nights ago I did it too. But she does about everything. So I'm lucky to have her. She does a lot at home, especially when I'm gone. And I know at night she does it too. And she's probably like, he don't ever do anything. He's at practice and he comes home and goes to sleep. And I have to get up with him. I know that's what she thinks, but a lot of times she don't say that. I'm lucky and I appreciate her. So.
I'm gonna move some of the questions over to the players a little bit. And if you don't want to answer them, I understand that. But do you have a certain player that they'll just get out there and do something and it makes you shake your head thinking, why are you doing that?
Sounds like 51 last couple of days.
51's been that guy. 51's been that guy the last couple of days, and which I didn't notice 51's until I watched practice film last night. And I was sitting there going, man, I cannot wait for film in the morning. I've been looking for a reason to get on to him. I was not going to pass that today. He gave me another one, and I called it. So he does it. I would say probably the quarterbacks, both 3 and 9, they get that every day, and it stinks for them because they're my position group. But and they're the center of attention on. They catch us now, and something goes bad, somebody gets lined up wrong. I blame them. That it's their fault. So they get that look every day. So I know they probably get tired of me, but that's part of it.
Yeah. Anytime you get a chance to get on to the All-State player, you got to be able to. So we don't blame you for that right there. Is there a player that just comes up to you every once in a while and just cracks a joke or something like that, and then just turns around and walks away, and it's like, where did that come from?
Not too much. No.
I know an announcer that'll just send him a random text that makes no sense every now and then, and when he might answer back, Howie, and say that's good coach speak, coach. You're in mid-season form, and that's the end of the text chain. That's about the end.
I know sometimes it takes forever to text back. I got things going on. I forget. I know a lot of people do that. They'll text me or something. I might not respond for a while. I'll tell them I'll write down or something I go back through. Especially during football season. I do a better job outside of football season than during football season. I do a terrible job answering. But player-wise, no. I think one of the funniest players though that we have would be the 51. Does some stuff that'll crack you up, but five will say like I think 5 thinks because he thinks he's a dude, He can joke around sometimes, but he's pretty. He'll say something crazy every now and then.
He got the best hair in the region, though.
Yeah. Nine's trying to catch up with him. I saw Nine's hair out of the back of his helmet the other day. He's trying to catch up with 5, I think. So.
Well,
and JR.
Hair this year. That's my prediction.
What is it?
Somebody's going to tackle 5 by the hair this year. Don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen this year. I'm telling you.
And when they do that, I got a feeling there's going to be a fight as soon as 5 gets up.
Yeah, probably.
5 would have been my answer to the next question as far as who's the sneakiest player, but I may be wrong about that.
Sneakiest.
Those wide receivers are always pretty sneaky. They've always been sneaky.
Probably 25, probably Tony Gurley. Sneakiest. I get away with I don't know, maybe say something when you're not around or something.
Good deal. Coach, you going to let us have any players on this year? I mean, it was kind of boycotted for a little while last year. Will it happen this year?
Let's wait till season. Let's wait to game 2 and see what the injury book looks like, Howie, before we ask again.
Coach ain't going to answer. Coach ain't going to answer. He's froze up one. I think he's froze up.
Coach? I think Coach is froze up.
He is froze up.
I tell you what, he looks good froze up there.
Yeah, a lot better than we do.
Right there he is.
Hey, sorry, you're on my phone now. I don't know, my computer just cut off. I don't know what happened, but no, Jonah Gurley's crack a joke too every now and then. I didn't think about him. Him and Five's about the same. They're both sneaky. They're both identical.
And then my last question was, we tried to have players on last year, then you boycotted us from having them because of the injury bug. Are you going to let us have players on this year?
I think so. Maybe that injury bug don't start back up. If it does, we'll have to boycott it again. To get rid of it, we'll have to test it out, I guess.
Ask that in week 2 when they're all healthy, and we'll get everybody.
Yeah, makes me nervous. I ain't gonna lie.
Tennessee fan.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Coach. I can remember where I was at the moment that you sent the text saying no more players allowed on the podcast for a while. And to me, that's one of the. I mean, I hated that the players was hurt, but to me, when I got the text, it was one of the funniest things that I've read in quite a while because I'm like, where'd that come from?
Howie texted me and said, "Did you read that the same way I did?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think you've been blackballed, Howie."
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. If you looked back at who was on there, it was like burn, but it was happening every week. It was like, man, something's got to change here.
And didn't even Coach Clark had he didn't get hurt, but he had a blown out tire or something on the way home after.
Yeah, after he had his, and Wilson had something happen to him. So I think Wilson got sick. It was.
We're not worried about Coach Wilson. He roots for the wrong team.
Yeah, I don't care about them Tennessee guys.
I know it. The best point he made tonight, Howie, we'll wrap it up with this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the media killing Alabama for being 10-2? And I've heard it all summer. And he lost 2 football games on the last play of the game last year. So, Coach, even the Tennessee fan agrees with you on that one.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. They still had a good year. 10-2 that's pretty stinking good.
Losing at LSU on the last play and at Tennessee on the last play, that's part of life.
That's just the expectations they've set. So,
I read something that Coach Saban said today. Or not today, but a couple of days ago. Let me ask you about this, Coach. He said he doesn't put out a depth chart because he wants everyone to feel like they're starters. What's your thoughts on that?
That's when you have 5 stars behind 5 stars. I like it. I think that's a great way to go. They're always competing. I think that's why they're always good year in, year out, because of how they compete with each other. So, I like it.
I feel strongly about doing that at the buffet. All right, everybody. We'll be back on next Wednesday night for the whole Coach. It put 16 weeks for us to be on. 16 weeks of the Tyler Vann Show. Next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, and it doesn't get any better from here. Hopefully nobody's hurt. We might get a player or 2 on. If somebody gets hurt, it's just going to be us 3 for a while. So, and maybe bring in Hannah Vann if Coach gets out of line. For Randall Cunningham, going to invite everybody down to Saks to see the football game.
Sorry.
Tell them to come down to Saks and watch the team play.
Yeah. We need everybody out. It's going to be a big game. A big start to the season. Try to find a way to go 1-0, and need the cheering section to show up. They've been good. I mean, we had a cheering section show up for the Jamboree, so I was pumped, and our kids were fired up about that. But we don't need everybody to show up and be loud, and we need the help. So,
Howie Chaney, anything for you to wrap up?
No, sir. Best of luck to you, Coach. See you Friday night.
Thank y'all.
Next Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, we'll have a review of the Sacks and a preview of the next week right here on the Tyler Vann Show.